you might be thinking, well, who are they going to replace Joe Biden with if they were going to replace him? And of course, everybody is saying Gavin Newsom, but in order to get to Gavin Newsom, you gotta skip over Kamala Harris. Would be terrible, is what they say. But here is an example of mainstream media banking on their audience not knowing all of the information when she asked this guy this question. But this is a great response. And the reason I wanted to play this video under this segment where we're kind of talking about Joe Biden losing, like Joe Biden is on the horizon, the future for Joe Biden. The future on a horizon for Joe Biden is that he will be losing in November. This is one of the reasons. If you had an open primary, if you had a primary where you actually gave, where Joe Biden had to come out and do things and prove that he still have his cognitive abilities, his cognitive faculties still in place, he will be able to prove that during a primary. But because they closed the primary, this is where we're at. Now we were forced down his throat as a candidate. Now you're forced with him because you didn't have a primary.
Donald Trump says very loudly he wants to debate Biden right now, immediately, when he did not want to debate and refused to debate any of his Republican challengers. Why?
Well, first and foremost, I think we should just acknowledge reality that President Trump is going to be the nominee for the Republican Party in 2024. I think, again, the hard truth is that this is not a Republican problem. This is a bipartisan problem. The Democratic Party effectively told the voters of Florida that their vote was not necessary, that they had already chosen their standard bearer in Joe Biden. The Democratic Party made it impossible for anyone to try to challenge Joe Biden, so much so that Robert Kennedy, whose family name is basically ingrained in the DNA of the Democratic Party, was forced to leave the Democratic Party in order to actually form a somewhat viable campaign for president. So yes, I think to his own credit, or against President Trump, he has decided he wants to move the battleground to the general election to go against Joe Biden. Anyone who is taking issue with that and the fact that he didn't debate should also be equally upset with what's happening on the left. Democracy demands debate, but that means that we have to have a two-party system that actually invites that debate as well.
There's a lot of people that would like to see a three-party system, but that is not what we have right now. S.E. Cupp, when you see this, what does it tell you? Donald Trump is saying, for the good of the country, I want to debate Biden now, but South Carolina hasn't yet happened.
You see how she completely ignored what the guy just answered. No, I'm sorry, she didn't completely ignore. She gave a flippant response to pivot. Oh, I mean, make a joke. Now let me completely ignore what he said. Did you just not hear? You're asking AC Cup or whatever her name is, CE Cup. You're asking Joe Biden's or Donald Trump is not debating. Did you just not hear that Joe Biden didn't want to debate either? You just did not hear that from the Republican strategists on the left? Now, when we're talking about reasons why Joe Biden's enthusiasm is so low, why his numbers are so bad, wouldn't you say not having a primary contribute considerably to that? Wouldn't you say that? Wouldn't you say shutting out even people that don't like Marianne Williamson and RFK out of the process? Wouldn't you say those people who wanted those candidates, who were voted for them as Democrats, wouldn't you say you turned those people off? Almost like they're trying to lose. This is why I said that in a previous live stream, is that it feels like they're trying to lose. Now let's go to this part here. So in costing Joe Biden an election, then you would ask,
Paul,
like I said, we mentioned Gavin Newsom as a possible backup. Gretchen Whitmer, those are the two names that always come up when they say who's the backup. But this segment right here talks about, or this clip talks about, how the Democratic Party in this segment, they're saying there is no backup plan to Joe Biden, meaning there is nobody we can insert in. There is no plan B. Let's listen.
Paul, it does not appear that the Democrats have a plan B, meaning an alternative to Biden should the pressure just be too much and he decide that he isn't going to run or maybe some other reason. Would it be wise to at least have some sort of backup plan?
No, he's running. By the way, he's winning token opposition. Well, serious opposition. Dean Phillips is a good man.
He's losing in polls to Trump, though.
But he is. And so that's the alternative, right? He doesn't need Leidinger. He needs Henny Youngman, the old comedian. They asked him, how's your wife? He said, compared to what? Every sentence out of his mouth for 269 days needs to be, and Trump's a threat at the end. It's good. Happy birthday, Aunt Tilly, and Trump's a threat, right? Am I old? Yes, I'm old, but Trump's a threat. This is how Edwin Edwards,
That's
the
all
corrupt
they
governor of
got.
Louisiana,
That's
beat
all
David
they
Duke, the
got.
Klansman. He had a slogan that said, vote for the crook. It's important.
Right.
So I say, win one for the geezer. He just needs to say Trump is worse. And most Americans, not just Democrats, think that's right. So nobody unites the people of Earth like a threat from Mars. And that's what he needs. He needs that external threat, which is existential. That will make people then say, okay, they're not going to say he's young and vital. They're going to say, yeah, he's old, but the other guy's a threat to my Social Security, to my abortion rights, to my democracy.
Do you think that would be effective?
No, because people already think that, Jake. They already know that. The polling on this is baked in for the most part. They look at Donald Trump, and he's made some mistakes for getting.
Oh, wow. He got bumped up a little bit. And this is Shermichael. If you remember Shermichael Singleton, he's appeared on The Hill. Most notably, he filled in for Robbie. And it was him and Bree for a good week when Robbie was sick one time, maybe 10 days or something like that. And I saw him fill in again on a segment, but now they're having him come on regularly. So there you go. And he's conservative. This is one of those black conservatives.
Getting people's names, et cetera, Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi, but they see a far more vibrant individual. You see an individual, let's just take out the veracity of many of his claims that we've talked about many times on your program, but they see someone who can go on the stage in front of thousands of people for 2 and 3 hours without scripted, a piece of paper and some notes with a Sharpie, and can riff and energize his voters.
Right.
President Biden, unfortunately, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for the president, Paul, he's not capable of doing this. And I'll just say this. Think about our country. We're a warrior society. We won this country by fighting, blood, sweat, and tears. And we like leaders who are strong, showcase a level of strength. This guy has my back. He can do the job on day one. I'm not convinced, Jake, that many people look at President Biden, as much as we adore him and love him, and say he can continue to do the job.
This is a fear that Democrats have, Democratic voters have, Democratic office holders had, Congressman Garcia notwithstanding. And it is a serious one. I think there are probably about 5 Democrats that were the decision made, and I don't think that the decision is going to be made, but were the decision for him not to run happen. Vice President Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Governor Whitmer of Michigan, and Gavin Newsom of California. I feel like you left some names off there. But that's my top 5. That's my top 5. Who did I leave off?
There are a long list. Some might say Governor Pritzker in Illinois. There are some new governors, Josh Shapiro and Wes Moore, get talked about. I mean, it's all hypothetical, though. Joe Biden is running for re-election. That's where we are.
All right.
You have to suck it up and accept it. This is The View. And Chris Christie goes on The View, and they're talking about discussing.
Here's a list of saying.
Discussing if Biden is up for another 4 years. So his mental acuity. Let's listen.
Here's a list of saying she's concerned about whether Biden can beat Trump. And there are people who are concerned about that. Given that record, there shouldn't be any concern about it. The reason is that people look at him and they say, is he really up to it? Can he really do it? And can he not only do it today, but we're giving him a 4-year contract to go until he's 86.
But when you compare him to Trump, the guy has all these smart people around him. Trump will have every idiot in the country in his administration.
He's saying that the fear is being unable to convince the public.
But here's the thing about the public. The public, as we know, is quite fickle. The public will go with whatever poll you say or whatever poll you say. Polls come and go. What isn't happening is not that they can't sell it. It's that the voice, like they should be here and on MSNBC the way the Republicans are on Fox every 4 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have the mouthpiece because we don't have the time because we actually got to get stuff done.
They don't have the mouthpiece. You have twice the amount of networks. There's one Fox. You have MSNBC and CNN. Not quite sure what Whoopi's talking about, but then again, she's not quite sure what Whoopi's talking about.
No, look.
Listen, I'm in this. I'm in all of this.
Whoopi, look,
yes.
We have had Democratic presidents who have been able to sell it. Okay, Barack Obama had no problem selling it.
No, but he did not come in behind a moron who drove the country into the garbage can.
What are you talking about? His name was George Bush. And that's exactly how you guys describe them, including you, Whoopi Goldberg. But they have been whitewashing George Bush. Remember the picture, the classic meme with Michelle Obama hugging George Bush? So now he's not that, Whoopi? 500,000 dead Iraqi kids, I would say he is.
And also,
look, I agree.
We never want to agree.
But I agree with you on that. But
I'm saying I think our problem is less what he's not doing. I think our problem is less how it's getting out there. Because I have to tell you, I watch.
But that's what I'm saying. We agree. How about this? We agree. Because I'm saying to you, he's not selling it.
Yeah, but you know what?
No, he can't sell it. He can't get elected.
Can't get any. No, if you can sell it as much as you want, if you can't get the broadcast out, it's not going to happen.
But Obama would be beating Trump by double digits right now. Biden does not have that same strength.
But he is not. Oh, listen, Joe Biden. Well, shut up. Howard saying.
See that? The Negro Shield is always the one who wants to be the most animated. They want to prove to massa. See?